everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you all the books I'm planning on reading and listening to this year. I'm going to be honest with you, previous years I've not been great at keeping up with my reading. Sometimes I start the year and I read 3 books in 1 month and I'm really motivated and I'm ready to go. Maybe I'll last until March. But then it kind of just goes downhill and I just get busy and I just don't prioritise reading. I end up doing something else. But this year I feel like I finally have time to read. I'm feeling very motivated and there's just so much I want to know and read, and there's so many amazing books out there. So today I'm going to show you the books I already have that I plan on reading, some I may be rereading, and then the ones I want to buy, and then the ones I'm listening to on Audible. So a couple of months ago I did actually write a list of books that I want to listen to or read, and I'm gonna stick with those. However, I'm just a sucker for a book and I keep seeing more that I want to read, and every time I go into the library or I go into a charity shop I just see books and then I end up picking them up. So I'm going to start with the ones that I've just accidentally picked up from the library, and then I will share the other ones. So at the moment I'm kind of treating books as Netflix series and I'm reading them at the same time, which I don't know, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Should I stop doing it? Please let me know. But I just like to dip in and out of things. But I do want to finish these 2 books by the end of the week, by the end of the month. There we go. By the end of the month, so I've got a week left, I'm going to finish these 2 books and this other one I started reading as well. This is the first book and it's If in Doubt, Wash Your Hair, and it is by Anya Hindmarch. Sorry if I've ruined her name. Basically this is written by, I think it's a 52-year-old, and she's basically telling you what she's learned in her years, and I just find it very interesting, very relatable, because she's kind of talking at you and she's talking about things she's experienced, which perhaps you have experienced already, certain feelings you might have, and I'm just really getting into it. And if you don't know already, I love a first person book. I absolutely love it when you feel like they're talking to you, and that's my favourite type of book. You'll probably spot a trend with all these books. It's basically full of practical tips, observations from life, and things I guess she would wish she could have told her younger self. That was a mouthful, did that make sense? I'm already halfway through and I picked up yesterday, so I think this will be a quick read. The second book is Speak Your Truth by Fern Cotton. I've never read a book from Fern Cotton before, but after reading this, I'm interested in reading this book from Fern Cotton, and I keep seeing that in the library as well. I haven't picked it up yet. I'm really enjoying how she writes, and I've only read a quarter of this book, but I'm just getting really into it. Basically, she goes to the doctor and she loses her voice for a couple of weeks and she needs a throat surgery. Was it throat operation? Yeah, throat operation. And she's not able to speak for 2 weeks, and then she kind of considers what silence would mean, and just kind of talks about her truth and when she feels like she had to be silent in the past, and now that she's finally speaking up, doing things for her and her family. And I don't know, I just find it really interesting and kind of connecting with your inner truth and learning to find your voice. So again, more personal growth, and kind of giving you tips and tricks and relatable stories, and it's just, a beautiful book. Exactly what Elizabeth Gilbert says. The next book was actually on my list to buy. I was going to buy this book from Amazon. I had it on my basket, but then I saw it in the library, so obviously picked it up. Good Vibes, Good Life. How Self-Love is the Key to Unlocking Your Greatness. I've just seen this a lot, honestly, online. A lot of people have said it's a really good book. Don't know too much about it, but I mean, the title says it all, and I'm a sucker for a book that has a catchy title and it tells you exactly what I want in life. On the back it says, be the best version of you that you can be. How can you learn to truly love yourself? How can you transform negative emotions into positive ones? Is it possible to find lasting happiness? And basically tells you techniques to manifest your goals, overcome fear, finding your purpose, cultivate positive lifestyle habits, mindfulness, meditation, self-care, overcoming toxic energy, all good things. So yeah, I'll be reading that most likely next month. The next book I picked up from the library, I probably shouldn't have because I had too many out and I'm going to just have to renew them. But this book, Lagon The Swedish Art of Living a Balanced, Happy Life. I remember a similar book when I was like 15, 16, and I'll try and find it and put it here, but basically it was the same similar sort of thing, and it was very popular. And basically this is probably going to be a book that I kind of just dip in and out of, because there's like different sections. In a fast-paced world, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could slow down and enjoy life with less pressure, less stress, and more time for things you love? Yes, yes it would, and I will be reading that to find out how. The next book I discovered from a charity shop, and I had never heard of it before. I don't know if it's good, but I mean, look at the cover, it kind of says it all. It's called We, a manifesto for women everywhere, and on the back basically an unspoken agreement that we as women will support and encourage one another. And that's what everyone wants in this world. And also, I talked about this a bit on my vlog, but there's like a little message that someone had given their friend when they moved to London from America. And I think the author is American, so it kind of like linked to her situation. Like, listen to this. How much more effective and powerful would we all be if we replaced our current patterns of competition, criticism and comparison with collaboration, cooperation and compassion? Whew, that's a lot of C's. I just think it'll be a really nice read and something different to what I have already. Okay, some more books that I actually planned on reading. The first one is probably no stranger to you, is Manifest. I've started reading this already, but then I just got distracted by all my library books, so I'm going to get back into this one. It's 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life, and so far I've really enjoyed it. Basically tells you like 7 simple steps to manifest the life that you want. I haven't read much about manifestation before. I know a lot of people I know are really into it, and obviously manifestation isn't just like thinking about something and just wishing for it really hard. Like, you obviously have to take the steps towards your goals and like work towards them and actually do stuff to get out of it. I'm probably actually going to start this again because so far they've said so much like science behind it, and I found it really interesting, kind of like how you can train your brain. It talks about your subconscious and how much of effect things that you say and do affect your subconscious, and how like programming your subconscious can actually help a lot of things in the present. So I'm actually probably going to reread it. I've just bought some like little book tabs, and I think I'm going to be that person and like annotate and make notes, because I just think it's really interesting. And then I feel like I'm going to do a whole video on some of these books, like a summary video for you, for me, as well as like a good refresh. So like maybe like a few months time I can just watch the video and like refresh what the book was about and all the key points. The next book is very different, and if you saw my what I got for Christmas, I got that Manifest book and this book. It's called The Psychology of Money. I haven't even taken out the wrapper yet, but basically I'm just really trying to manage my money better, invest, and just kind of think long term and be more practical with my money. And I think this is going to be really helpful, like the first kind of like get me into it. And then there's quite a lot of other books that I've seen that I would like to read afterwards once I have a bit more understanding. And this year I just really want to dive into the financial world, gross, and just kind of improve my understanding, because you just don't get taught this at school. One book that I have already read multiple times in the past, actually maybe like 2 or 3 times, and I've just read it again at the beginning of the year. It didn't take long because it's a very small book, but this is The 4 Agreements, and if you haven't read this, I honestly really recommend it. I love this book. I just think it's very simple. There's a bit of repetition that kind of just drills into your head, and I just think it's a really powerful book. And basically they say there's 4 agreements to life and basically how to live by them, and they're just so true. So the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. The second is, I believe, don't take anything personally, which is something I really resonate with and actually helps a lot. The next one is don't make assumptions, and I believe the last one is do your best. And those together really do just like, I don't know, they just really open up your mind. I just think they are very important agreements to follow, and I just like to reread it every single year just to give myself a refresh. But again, I'll probably do a summary video on this one too, because it is just like one of my favourite books. I can't remember if I showed you a close-up, so there you go. Good book. The next book is Atomic Habits, and this is a very popular book. I'm sure you've seen it online, or someone you know has read it. I started reading this last year, and then I got about 3/4 of the way done because I was travelling a lot, and honestly I wasn't really reading that much because I was reading stuff for work, so my reading just kind of went out the window. So I didn't finish this, and then I just kind of lost the momentum, and then yeah, I didn't really read for like 5 months. So I'm getting back into reading, and I'm gonna just start again, I think, and then again probably annotate and make some notes. It basically talks about getting 1% better every day, the small habits you can do. Rather than making huge changes immediately, you kind of make those small steps, small habits every single day, and how they can really like transform your life. And I just think it's really interesting and really motivating. Let me just read what it says on the back of the book. Basically, Clear reveals exactly how these minuscule changes can grow into such life-altering outcomes. He uncovers a handful of simple life hacks, the forgotten art of habit stacking, the unexpected power of the 2-minute rule, or the trick to entering the Goldilocks zone, and delves into cutting-edge psychology and neuroscience to explain why they matter. Again, all this like science and neuroscience behind things I find so interesting. So yeah, I will reread this. The next book I've wanted to read for such a long time, and it's called The Comparison Cure. I'm personally very guilty of comparing myself to others. I'm sure a lot of you are, and I just think this would be really good for me. How to be less them and more you. So Lucy, the world's first and only comparison coach, is on a mission to help you overcome ranking yourself and your progress against others. Whether you feel dependent on social media, confused about your own next steps, or have a long-standing offline rivalry, Lucy is here to show you how to dissolve distraction and be truly happy who you are. And there's 3 parts, so the diagnosis, the remedy, and the living comparison-free. And there's lots of exercises, tools, practices, everything you need to know to stop comparing yourself to others and just be you, hun. Be you. Stepping away from the self-development books for a moment, one book I've always wanted to read and still haven't is the Anne Frank Diary. Here I have the Spanish version. No, I'm probably not good enough to read that right now. I mean, I'm definitely not good enough to read this right now. However, this is for my partner that I bought him when I went to Poland. So I bought him this, and I eventually want to read it myself, or at least be able to kind of understand it. I do, however, want to buy the English version and read that this year, because I've been saying that for many years. I just really want to read it. I also have a book that I left at my dad's house that is called How to Have a Healthy Brain. I read that a couple of years ago, and I would like to reread that and make some notes again. There's a lot of science behind that book, so it was quite a heavy read, and it took me a long time to read it, to be honest. And I wouldn't mind just like jumping in and out of that book throughout the year rather than reading it in one go. So I think I'm going to bring that back and maybe read like a little bit every few weeks, and just eventually by the end of the year have read it. But there's so many important things about like kind of preparing your body and being healthy, ready for the future. And they even talk about things like dementia and cancer and all these things that what you can do now to kind of like be healthy and live your best life. But then also it deals with like stress and like IBS, anxiety, and the front cover is very pretty. They are all the physical books that I have I'm going to read this year. Yes, I will read them all. Challenge accepted. I have also got an Audible subscription, and I really got into this at the end of last year. Luckily, in my line of work, most of the year when the kids are at school, I have time that I am doing like errands and housework and like creating resources and things like that, but I'm at home and I can like listen to music or something in the background. I can also listen to music, like walking down the street, walking to the post office, I can listen to music, which I love doing. Sometimes, you know, you need a bit of like a pump in your step. However, I really got into listening to audiobooks, and I felt like even though I was like walking and doing errands, or if I was ironing, I was still being so productive, and it gave me the chance to listen to so many more books than I had time to read. So the membership I have, before I was paying $9.99 a month, but I've now managed to get it down to $7.99 a month. So for the $7.99 a month, you get 1 credit of an actual book, and then you can download all the other books that come free with it, like on the premium plan. So some books you just have to wait per month. You can buy more, but I don't want to. So next up, I'm going to insert some footage of those books that require a credit to read or to listen to. And then I will talk about the ones that come free with Audible. So once you finish that book, because sometimes I might finish it in 1 week, I still have like 3 more weeks that I don't want to buy a new credit, so I can listen to all these free books. So I will tell you the free books as well. Did that make sense? So with Audible, you obviously have a monthly credit, which is to get like buying a book. However, you also get the opportunity to download the other ones that come with the subscription. This is my wish list of books that require a credit. I'm currently listening to Essentialism and I'm really enjoying it. I've got 4 hours left. So I definitely recommend that already. I will obviously update you once I finished it. But here are the ones I've currently added. Some aren't definite, like all these Spanish ones. I like potentially might listen to those. One I've heard so much about is the 5 a.m. Club. I don't know whether I will be someone who wakes up at 5 a.m. We will see. But I'm just really interested by the concepts that they cover, and again, neuroscience. So everything I'm kind of interested in. So I will want to give that a listen to. And that's 11 hours. So I feel like that's good to listen to rather than read. This one I've also heard a lot about, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and middle class do not. And it's like all these things that you don't learn at school, or a lot of people don't teach you as a child. And again, about finance and things I'm trying to get into. This one is a similar concept. It's called How to Invest. This is 17 hours long, so I'm not too sure yet. I do want to read some reviews and listen to what people have said online before I commit to this, because obviously it costs a credit. But again, what can I say? It's about finance and investing, so I feel like I should find some good sources to learn more about it. Oh, notification. This one I haven't heard anything about, but it's called The Joy of Missing Out. Live More by Doing Less by Tanya Dalton. I got recommended this based on my other reads, so I was intrigued. So I feel like this is probably going to be another one of my credits. The last one I'll mention is Positively Wealthy. I have not heard anything about this, but again, it was recommended to me. 33-day guide to manifesting abundance for young women and who want to define the meaning of wealth in their life. I don't think it's just financial wealth. It's like wealth in general in all areas of your life. So yeah, I'm really intrigued by this. So they were the books that I'm waiting each month to download using my credits. And now, if you have the Audible app, you can actually have unlimited access to all these other books. And there's actually so many really good books. And I will insert some footage now of some other books that I have discovered that are on the free area of Audible, so I can listen to those when my credit runs out. So this book I have actually listened to already, The 6 Habits of Growth, and I absolutely loved this book. I found it really useful, and basically there are 6 habits: motivation, focus, confidence, energy, purpose, and leadership. And it's just really interesting, really nice, like, voice as well. And yeah, I'm definitely going to re-listen to this year. So this is 101 essays that will change the way you think, and I'm actually shocked that this is on the free section. I thought this would have to use a credit. I've seen a lot of people read it and go on about how good this book is, and the fact that it's so many different voices, I think that's going to be really good to like compare everyone's different advice and life stories. I feel like if I had the actual copy, I would probably dip in and out of it reading different essays, so I might do the same and just every now and then listen to one. This one I have never heard of before, but it was recommended based on all of the like self-development books I've had on my library. And I just think this is going to be so funny. I love how it says refreshing and gloriously unapologetic conversation about health, fitness, and habits. And that is exactly what I want to listen to. Again, this was another recommendation. It's 1 year to an organized life. And I love how it's like a week-to-week guide to completely organizing your entire life. I think it's from like your finances to your kitchen to your wardrobe to every aspect of your life. It's almost 13 hours long, so that's pretty long for an audiobook, but I'm definitely going to give it a go. The next book is a very old book and a classic that I still have not read, and it's the Untethered Soul. And I'm again shocked that this is on the free section. As you can tell by the very small summary, it's about achieving happiness and self-realization. Rather than going through each and every book that I've added to my library, I've just thought I would show you my list. These are all of the ones I've added to my library already that were just as part of the premium. And yeah, I'm really excited to give them all a read and let you know during my monthly favourites which ones I like the most. Okay, wow, that was a long video. I hope that was really interesting. Well done if you've made it to the end. I would love to know any other reading recommendations in the comments down below. I understand that reading can feel like it takes up a lot of time, and in the past I just haven't prioritized it. Like at the end of the long day, when my eyes are tired, I don't always want to strain my eyes reading a book. Like I end up just like watching Netflix or something. But if you can, just taking like even if 10 minutes a day just to read a book. If you can't make the time to read an actual physical book, I understand it's difficult, then I completely recommend downloading Audible and listening to it on the way to work, driving places, walking places, on the tube, on the bus. I'm going to stop talking now, so thank you so much for listening and watching and making it this far. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I will make sure I include the books I really like into my monthly favourite videos, and then also do like discrete videos on certain books that I feel like are very important, and I can summarise it for you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye!